So hello everyone, in this video we'll be creating the backend for our this app for the to-do list part. Uh, let's do that. So in the models, what we have to do is we have to create a similar model just like we did for the user. We have to create one more file called to-do list.js, and I'll be creating a to-do model just like I created for the user. Similarly, I'll be creating for the to-do list. I don't need this bcrypt now, and I can change the name from user schema to to-do schema. Now we need the fields such as title, description is completed, and created or basically completed on. I can make things required by this. Okay, now in here I can make it as a normal string. And there is one more important thing, that is created by. So this will be a reference from our user.js because the to do task will be separate for a single user. So this task should belong to a user basically. So it is kind of a link to this user.js ID basically. So I'll be linking that. So I can write a ref, and I can specify the schema, which is, or the model basically. So we named it as user, so I can name it as user, and then after that I can specify the type of it. So the type will be mongoose dot schema. I think it was in the schema, and then object ID. I can specify that, or directly you can specify schema dot object ID. That will also work because we have already destructured schema, right? After that, what we have is we can also specify the timestamps. So the timestamps is basically when this new object will be created in our database, or this document will be created. So it will be having the fields such as created at and updated at. So whenever we'll be updating, so it will have the time, and whenever this will be created, so it will also have that time. So I can make it as true, so it will have that. Okay. uh, yeah, now what I can do is I can create the model for it. uh, what do I name it? To do, and I can create mongoose dot model. I can specify the name to do, and after that I can specify the schema, which is the to do schema, right? To do schema, and then I can export this to do, so I can make use of it basically. Now I'll be creating the route for this. For a single route I'll be creating that. Before that, what I have to do is, let me just create the route first. To do routes.js. So this is our model. Now we'll be able to create to do task in the backend, to do routes, and I'll be creating the simple copy of this, and instead of auth controller, what I'll be creating is I'll be creating another controller called to do controller. So in this I'll be creating all the methods which are there. There is this method also, like I can export directly. Let's say the method which is create to do, let's say rec and res, right? So I can write it here, res.status.error. I can create, I can grab the data, or I can destructure the fields. Let's say title, description, and is completed, right? So I can grab all that from the request body. Now I can create it uh, by giving it a name, let's say to do, and I can create to do. I can import it from the model, which is this one, and then I can specify all these fields. I can directly provide the data, that would also work, right? So this is it. Let me just not destructure that. Let me just directly paste this data in here. That would, so in future if I add more fields, so I don't have to destructure it again. So that is for that. And now I can save this to do, just like in the register with it is similar to that. I can grab the result and I can add a wait here. Then I can log the result and I can send status 201 and send message created new task. So this is our creation part. Let me just add async here as well, right? Okay, now what I can do is I can import it from the to do controller. I can import what I have to import, create to do. I can directly name it here, create to do. So this is basically the creation part, create to do. Let's name this as this route. Now I have to require this route, right, in the server.js, so that I will be doing here. So I can copy it, and after the API I can also specify to do, so that would make sense. I can write to do routes, right? So it will be from to do routes from this file, which is to do routes. So that would make sense. So create to do with a post request, and I'm making it require in here. I can also test it out with the postman, and before that I will add one more middleware which will check whether the user has a token or not. That we'll be doing in the next video. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the next video.